What was on the menu and who was on the guest list at the state banquet for the US President and his wife, recently hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla? Of course, a spectacular showstopper of a state visit. No one does it better than the Brits. The glittering feast with speeches, royal toasts, trumpet fanfares, and of course, fancy food and wine. So I just thought I'd go over this article from the BBC explaining what was actually on the menu and who in particular was on the guest list that you might not have seen. Now, it was, of course, a massive diplomatic effort, with the government calling in the royals as a diplomatic shock and awe approach to hospitality here, designed to make the US president feel special. That is the way to get something over the line with him, basically flattery. The setting in St George's Hall, inspected of course by the King and Queen before it happened. Inside Windsor Castle is a remarkable sight and a mix of a medieval banquet and a Harry Potter film, this article says. Elaborately uniformed staff around the hall are as drilled as the soldiers who have been on parade during the day, with the table settings, 5 glasses per person, being exquisitely neat. This time there were 160 guests sitting behind 1,452 pieces of cutlery, eating from a menu written in French. Now, the menu goes as follows here: Hampshire watercress panna cotta with parmesan shortbread and quail egg salad, organic Norfolk chicken ballotine wrapped in courgette with a thyme and savoury infused jus, and for dessert a vanilla ice cream bomb with Kentish raspberry sorbet interior with a lightly poached Victoria plum. Now, the guests also had a generous wine list with Whiston Estate Cuvée 2016, and the others I'll put up on screen. I won't even try to pronounce them. I'll list them up on screen and try and find an image for you. So there was quite an old one actually, 1998 there as well. So very nice wine. After dinner drinks were also very symbolic. There's a 1945 vintage port in honour of Trump being the 45th US president, although he doesn't actually drink alcohol. And there was also a 1912 cognac from the birth year of the president's mother, who was born in Scotland. She was Scottish, so that was also symbolic. King Charles also approved a special cocktail for the occasion, which was called the Transatlantic Whiskey Sour, blending Johnny Walker with the bright citrus of marmalade with pecan foam and a toasted marshmallow on a biscuit.
It is with great pleasure that my wife and I welcome you to Windsor Castle on this, your second state visit to the United Kingdom. This unique and important occasion reflects the enduring bond between our two great nations, anchored by the deep friendship between our people. This relationship, which, with good reason, we and our predecessors have long called special, has made us safer and stronger through the generations. Our people have fought and died together for the values we hold dear. We have innovated, traded, and created together, fueling our economies and cultures through myriad forms of exchange. We have celebrated together, mourned together, and stood together in the best and worst of times.
Your Majesty, Melania and I are deeply grateful to you and Queen Camilla for your extraordinary graciousness. It's a singular privilege to be the first American president welcomed here. And if you think about it, it's a lot of presidents, and this was the second state visit, and that's the first, and maybe that's going to be the last time. I hope it is, actually. But this is truly one of the highest honors of my life. Such respect for you and such respect for your country. I'll tell you that I just stood in line and shook about 150 hands, and the king knew every single person and every single company, and some of them had bad names like XYZ-Q3, and he knew every one of them, or at least I think he did, because nobody was complaining. I was very impressed with that. His Majesty spoke eloquently about the bond which inspired Sir Winston Churchill to coin the phrase special relationship, but seen from American eyes, the word special does not begin to do it justice.
So that's the food and drink, but what about the people? Now, it was conspicuously missing lots of celebrity faces or screen stars. Instead, this guest list was made up of lots of business people. Of course, Trump is very much in with the tech bros, and his circle is very much made up of the richest 0.1% of America, basically, who he caters to as well. Apple boss Tim Cook was there, sitting next to the president's daughter Tiffany. Rupert Murdoch was also there, the press baron, sitting next to Sir Keir Starmer's key advisor Morgan McSweeney, and the article here says the small talk must be interesting when Trump is suing the Murdoch press for billions over in the US, because as much as they preach about free speech, if you criticize Trump or disagree with him, he will sue you or take you off air, as we've seen with some talk show hosts. But anyway, like at a wedding, guests must be checking the nameplates around the table to see who they're sitting beside, and the head of the table is in the middle for the Windsor State Banquet, with of course the king and the president in the centre of a long dining table that is 47 metres long, with the president as the guest of honour placed between King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who he paid tribute to for looking healthy, and the nameplate for Trump saying the President of the United States of America, so it's formal. But just quickly, I'll go over some of the interesting and slightly odd groupings with the seating arrangements as well, such as the US Ambassador Warren Stevens sitting next to Princess Anne on one side and the UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves on the other side. So I feel for Princess Anne in that one. She would have had to pull out all the stops there. I think the whole royal family could breathe a sigh of relief once this was over, to be honest. The Prime Minister was sat beside Stephen Schwarzman, a mega wealthy CEO of the Blackstone Investment Group. So as I say, these circles are deep. They run deep, these rich circles. If Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, though, was searching for ideas, she was sat next to Sam Altman, the chief executive of the AI firm OpenAI, with the US Secretary of State also there, and Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff. Being among UK politicians, the Foreign Secretary and the Deputy PM were also there, and one notable person that came out and actually gave an interview about the tech investment that the US is making into the UK, the CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, being part of that tech contingent that I also mentioned. I'll put up in the background some photos and videos, of course, of all of this, the procession to the hall as well. You can see a lot of different people. So that about wraps it up. What was on the menu and who were some of the notable guests and some of the seating arrangements, which no doubt made for some interesting conversations. But as always, I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments down below, and thank you very much for watching.